All right, welcome back, everybody. April is World Autism Month. Southern Connecticut State University's Center of Excellence on Autism Spectrum or Disorder has partnered up with Sun, Moon, and Stars and several local police departments for important traffic stops.
Yeah, the goal here is to foster positive interactions between police officers and individuals with autism. So here to tell us more about this really unique, inspiring program is Watertown Deputy Chief Renee Dominguez, SCSU's Center of Excellence on Autism Spectrum Disorder Director, Dr. Carrie Sassu, and Christine Ferressa, who is the Executive Director of Watertown's Sun, Moon, and Stars Autism Group. Thank you, ladies, all of you, for being here. This is, I think, becoming more and more important. Let me start with you, Chief. Why do you think it's important to really educate officers about how to deal with adults who would be on the spectrum?
I think it's important because an officer is going to do a motor vehicle stop and not really always aware. That's not the first thing you're thinking. So while we're having these events, we're able to kind of get the officers to think larger, to think about somebody in a car might not be understanding how you are expecting someone to be understanding the directions you're giving. And so while the exposure is great for the autism community, it's really great for the officers.
Absolutely. Now, I know the answer to this question, but to edify the audience, talk to us about this blue envelope that we see right here.
Okay, so the blue envelope, do you want to go on to the, started in...
Sure. To begin in January, it was released in January 2020. But
okay.
It was a collaborative effort undertaken as a consequence of legislation. But the Department of Motor Vehicles, Connecticut Department of Motor Vehicles, and the Connecticut Police Chiefs Association came together to...
What a great idea. I love this.
It's fantastic, right? It's a great tool because it not only helps the drivers, but also the police.
So this goes in the glove box.
Correct.
With your paperwork.
Correct.
And when you get stopped, you just literally hand over the envelope, and the officer should know at that point, okay, so I'm dealing with a different situation here.
Sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Serves as a cue.
Yeah. So, and for the folks, adults with autism, what do you think, like, what type of special challenges they may have that you want to kind of do these mock traffic stops so that everything can go more smoothly? What would be a special circumstance?
So I think for the adult community, as well as even passengers, for the kids who are in the car, you know, because it's really both in this situation. It just is really understanding the expectations and not to be afraid if you're pulled over and have that fear, because this is a very different social situation that they might not be used to. And adults and children on the spectrum are very used to a very rigid protocol, and they have expectations of how something should go. And if something doesn't always go that way, they can have some trouble with it. So this is just a way for them to get familiar with the process and what it can look like, so that if they are pulled over for some reason, they're not as afraid. I guess there's not as much fear.
And April 6th is this coming Saturday is the event.
Saturday,
Tell us a little bit about that and what we can expect and who's allowed to come.
So go ahead. Okay, I'll speak. So, so our nonprofit, Sun, Moon, and Stars, we've partnered with the Watertown PD. This is our 4th annual meet and greet. So when we were planning this, we were discussing the fact that this is wonderful that we're going to do this. We have the kids and we have families come in, but also with the mock traffic stop, this came up to be like, hey, why don't we partner and do this together as a great opportunity, because we already have families attending. So it worked out beautifully. So we've been meeting and discussing this and having, it's open registration, but you have to register because there is capacity involved.
Absolutely.
But there's a 9 o'clock slot and an 11 o'clock slot, and then everyone can come over to the meet and greet that we're having at the Watertown BT at 1 o'clock afterwards.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
The traffic stop itself, however, is being hosted at Watertown High School.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I want to thank the Watertown Public Schools for, in addition to the police departments that are contributing and participating in the event, which is Watertown, Waterbury, Naugatuck, and Southern
PD will be there.
Yeah, and you said about 6 departments statewide that are doing this. Would you love to see more?
Yeah, so there's been 6 locations, and it's great because it allows the departments to partner. So a department doesn't have to host it themselves, and you're able to draw from different communities. So, you know, where it can be in this region, and next weekend you have one in Waterford, right?
Wait, that's at the end of the month.
April 27th.
Thank you.
So it really allows for more of the state, more of the community in the state to be able to go closer to where they are and to be involved and to really be able to experience it.
Have you spoken to some of the participants after the event? How do they feel about it?
That's a Carrie question.
Yeah.
So as the chief has said, this is our 6th traffic stop throughout the state, and each time it's good to have tissues nearby, because there's always a family member who is so grateful for the opportunity to engage in something positive and really reflect on the opportunity to engage in a practice.
Absolutely.
You know, all of us get anxious when
when the
lights and sirens go on.
Yeah.
So having opportunities to practice in a positive,
Yes.
safe environment, right, is
Well, that's it. Practice and repetition. I think that's the most important.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
And there's an education piece first, so you know, there'll be video. It's not just we get there and we're pulling people over. So there's like a prep. There'll be a prep in the morning prior, and then we'll go out and the officers will be doing the traffic stops on all the participants that have registered, an actual traffic stop, for saying it's a red light or a tail light out, and I'm excited. It'll be my first one to experience, and I'm really excited to kind of talk to my officers afterwards and get their perspective of how it went for them and what they learned, because it's like I said, it's not just for the autism community, it's really for the officers
That's
as well.
great.
Yeah,
well, we can't thank you
absolutely.
enough.
All right, thank you so much. And we want to let everyone know that the Watertown Traffic Stop, again, happening this Saturday, April 6th, starting at 9 a.m. at Watertown High School. You do need to register if you'd like to participate. For more information to do that, just so they have enough folks, visit southernct.edu/ASD center, click on programs and events. I promise you it's on the screen, but you can also just look on greatdayct.com. We'll have the links.
Absolutely. We can't thank you enough, ladies. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And